Hello friends, this is tutorial number 79 in this C++ programming language course. In this tutorial we will talk about smart pointers. And we have here simple hello world application. And I want to start by creating one class. Let's create one class. The name of the class will be cube. Without destructor. Okay, here is our class. We will only create one private field. It can be integer. We will call it a. It will be a side of the cube, and we will use this side to create a parameterized constructor. To save some time, I will not use get and set functions. I will also create two functions: integer area of the cube, and integer volume. You can use a double if you want, but I will use integer. It's a cube and it will be easier, and I will just include IOStream and namespace standard to cube CPP file, and I will use this namespace standard in the header file. And we can also create one void function display. It will be a function which will display area and volume of the cube. Now we will, in CPP file, we will first, let's define this parameterized constructor. This a will be equal to a. Now let's define the functions. Let's define area. We need to use a formula to calculate the area of the cube. It will be it is 6 multiplied with square of the side. We will return 6 multiplied. We will just use we will not use CMet library. We will just use a multiplied with a. It will be enough. Now let's calculate the volume. It will be the cube number of the side a. We will just return a multiplied with a multiplied with a. Now let's define display function. We will call it side a equals to a, area equals to, we will call the function area, and volume equals to, we will call the function volume, and it should be okay. Now let's include a cube class in our main CPP file, and also we will use a smart pointers. For that we need to include one more library. It will be a memory. We need to include it from C++ library. Also in your, just a second, in your compiler check if C++ 17 is activated, or if not, activate it here, otherwise your program will not work. And this is hello world, we will delete it. Now I will just want to build and run to see if everything will work properly. Okay, I forgot a bracket here. In the cube CPP file. Now let me try again. Okay, now it works fine. Now I will create one pointer. It will be unique pointer, unique PTR, and we need a template, and the template will be a cube. It means that it will point to a cube, and we need a name of the pointer, will be C1. I could call it PTR1 or C1, but I will call it like a cube. It will be a pointer, and it will point to a new cube, and we will set aside a, because our constructor is parameterized with one integer parameter. We will set 4. And now we will use just this C1, and we will call the function display. And before displaying the cube data, I will just write cube1 and /n. Now we will see if everything will work properly. As you can see, we have here cube1, side A equals to 4, area equals to 96, and volume equals to 64, and I think it works properly. Area is 6 multiplied with square of the side, 4 multiplied with 4 is 16, multiplied with 6 is 96, and cube number of number 4 is 64. Everything works fine. Okay, now we want to create another unique pointer. Template will be cube. It will point to the cube object. We will call it C2. Okay, we will just call it C2, and we will just define C2 will be equal to this pointer will be equal to C1. And just a second, we want to display. I will just copy this and I will paste it here. And I will change, instead of cube 1 will be cube 2, and instead of C1 I will use C2. And we defined this unique pointer C2 will be equals to pointer C1. That means that it will also point to this object of cube. And if I run it, I will have an error. Why I have error? Because this unique pointer C1, it's unique pointer. It can point to the object only one time, only once. We can't point to the object 2 times. And how we can resolve it? We can simply, if we want, we can move the pointer to the C2. How can we do that? We will just use move function, and this C1 will be inside the brackets. It means that we will move the pointer from C1 to C2. And now if we build and run now, as you can see, we have another cube here. I could just use /n to separate, which is it point to the object, to the cube with the side 4. Area is 96 and volume is 64. The thing that we did, we moved here on the 14th line of code, we moved the pointer from C1 to C2, and it means that C1 from this line of code doesn't point to this object anymore, because this is unique pointer. It can point just one time to the object. But here, before this line of code, it works normally. But now, if I want to print, to use a display function again, I will copy this here, and now I will just comment. We just want to see if cube 1 C1 pointer will point us this object, but as I already explained you, unique pointer can point just once to one object. And now if I want to build and run again, I have cube 2, but cube 1 will not work. My program crashed because I point again to the same object with unique pointer, and I can't do this because here we move pointer from C1 to C2. I will now uncomment this, and I don't want, I will left pointer C1. Okay, here it will work properly, but now it will not work because C1 is pointing to this cube. I write C2 that point to the same object, and it will not work again. But how it can work? What can we do to C2 pointing to the same object? Pretty much simple. Instead of unique, the name is unique. can point to the object only once. Instead of unique pointer, we will use shared pointer. This C1 will be shared pointer. And also we will change it here. C2 will be also shared pointer. The difference, a shared pointer can point 2 times, 3 times or more to the same object. And now let's try to run this program now to see if it will work, but I will just use one /n here to separate. I didn't use a slash. I didn't use it again. Okay, /n. Now we will see if everything will work properly. As you can see, it works fine. We have 2 pointers and they are pointing to the same object, but we are defining as cube 1. The object is the same. As you can see, side A is 4, area is 96, volume is 64. Of course, this 4 this cube needs to have integer parameter. As you can see, I can use 5. As you can see, area is 150, volume is 125, and it is pointing normally. And of course we can create a third pointer. Just a second. I will copy from 13 to 70. I want to create C3 just to see if it will work properly. Okay, shared pointer cube, it will be C3. Okay, it will be also equals to C1. We could also use C2, it doesn't matter. And here we will change to cube number 3, and here we will use C3 and display. Now this cube we should have displayed 3 cubes, and it's just 3 pointers which are pointing to the same object. Now let's build and run again. As you can see, it works perfectly fine. I hope that you understand the difference between unique pointer. It can only point to the object once. It can be moved, but it can to another pointer. But 2 pointers, unique pointers, cannot point to the same object, and shared pointers can point to the same object as many times as we want. I really hope that you understand this. If you like this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on the Instagram. You will have a link in the description, and I will see you in the next tutorial.